hate me. Now, maybe you don't specifically hate me, and maybe this isn't specifically geared towards you, but I want to bring up a sensitive topic that sometimes people don't like to hear. And so, the first aspect that you might not like me or you might hate me is because I bring about these triggers or these feelings of your abuser. Because you look at me and you're like, wait a second, this is the guy that has done stuff to other people. And so I hate what he's done. I hate how he shows up. I hate him being a narcissist. And so this is frustrating because this is what happened to me. So therefore, I hate you. Okay. That makes sense, right? Like you've been hurt. So you need to find someone that you can actually identify with and say, hey, I hate that you're this way. I get that. The other reason that sometimes people do not like or people hate me is because of how I am. And what I mean by that is how I've been transforming myself over the past couple of years. Now, you'd think that people would be like, well, it should be a good thing. Like, we want you to change. We want you to grow. Like, that's the biggest thing is we want the narcissist to fix himself. We want the narcissist to work on himself, right? Not always the case. You see, some people will get more frustrated by demonstrating change because of what it actually reveals about their relationship. And the crux of this, and the main piece I want you to understand, is that the narcissist knows. Then the narcissist is unwilling to change. I want you to consider this one singular thought, is that it's easier to believe that the other person is incapable of change than recognizing that your worth is tied up in his opinion of you. It is easier for you to think that this person is incapable of change than to recognize that your worth is tied up in his opinion of you. Now, what do I mean by that? It's so easy to write something off and say, hey, this is impossible for someone to change, because you don't want to identify that if he doesn't change, then you're not good enough. Because you not being good enough is a thought that goes through your head over and over and over, because you're like, why won't he change for me? And the hard piece is you start to wonder and you start to think and you start to believe that it has something to do with you, that it has something to do with your value or your worth, or it has something to do with like how you show up, because you're like, I've done so much for him. I've been there for him. I've helped him financially. I've helped him physically. Like I've helped him with so many different things. Why am I not good enough? Then I want to let you know it has nothing to do with you. And that's the piece that people get so confused when they're in toxic relationships, is they start to have their worth defined by the other person's opinion. And they start to think, well, if I would have been better, he wouldn't have cheated on me. If I would have been better, then he wouldn't have left me. If I would have been better, then he wouldn't have run away. It's not true. So many people get wrapped up in someone else's opinion of you. You've already seen this and you've already had this happen. And so the hard part is when people watch me on social media, they're like, wait a second, you say that you've changed, you say that you've grown, you say that you've transformed in so many ways, and I have the evidence to be able to prove it. But the thing is, when I say that, and when you hear that, and when you feel that, it starts to get you frustrated. And it starts to get you frustrated because it goes back to hitting you at the core, wondering, okay, well, what did his wife do? How is his wife better so that he actually changed for her? Guess what? Nothing. Nothing my wife did changed me. Nothing my wife did pushed me. Nothing my wife did prompted me to get to the place that I have awareness now, that I'm growing, transforming who I am now. That's the thing you have to understand. You can't fix him. You can't change him. You can't make him better. The only person you can work on is you. I am the only person that can work on me. My wife can't fix me. My therapist can't fix me. Nobody can. I'm the only one who can transform my life. The thing you have to understand is every narcissist is capable of change. They change all the time. They change around you to their coworkers. They change around you and their family members. They change around you, every single person. They change. But the thing is, they don't transform, because transformation comes to truth, that you have to have truth in your life. Me coming to the realization that I was a liar, not just to everybody else, but to myself, was the crux of some of the pivotal changes in my life, understanding that if I don't actually get clear with the truth, nothing will change. I will continue the cycle over and over and over again. Nothing will ever change my mindset, my thought process, until I actually realize that I'm a liar. And until I get clear with the truth of the situation, with the truth of who I am, with the truth of what I've done, then I cannot move forward. If you're in a relationship today and the person in your relationship, the toxic person, is not willing to be honest, vulnerable, or show consistent change, you need to leave. Now, why would I say that so harshly? Because you need to understand, if you're at the place where this person is not willing to be honest, there is no level of foundation of trust that you can build. There is no level that you can actually grow a relationship with someone who's not willing to be honest. If he's not willing to be honest, then you need to leave. That's the piece that you need to understand. Until I was confronted with the fact that I was a liar, nothing was ever going to change. The thing is, when you hear my social media, when you interact with other people, when you see other things of like, hey, this is what's going on, do you start to realize that your worth has been defined by another person's opinion for such a long period of time? And until you change that, until you work on that, your worth will always be linked up to another person, making you feel like you're not good enough. You're not worthy. You need to work harder for his approval, for his love. I need you to understand that's not true. And the fact that you have to work towards that in this toxic relationship shows you that you're going to be stuck for a long period of time. If you actually want to be freed and actually want help moving forward of this, please reach out for help. Because how I partner with people and work with people every single day is helping you transform you. Not following me, not following a therapist, not following another person, but you actually understanding what is the truth of your situation and how do you liberate yourself from the toxic person, mentally and emotionally. Because if you don't do that, even if you leave physically, you will still go back. How many of you right now would feel like you're addicted to the narcissist, to the toxic person in your life, and you've left and you've gone back, and you've left and you've gone back, and you've left and you're like, I can't do this without him. You've left and you're like, I can't live without him. You've left, and this keeps happening over and over and over because you develop this addiction, this trauma bond that traps you and leaves you stuck to the toxic person over and over again. Because until we actually change the thought process, until we actually help you rewire the mindset, you will continue to go back. You will continue to be stuck over and over. If you actually want to be free from this and help yourself move forward, message me, break free. Just shoot me a DM that says break free, because I want to help you break free from the toxicity, to move forward in your healing, to move forward in your growth, to be the person you're actually called to be. Don't let another person's opinion define your worth anymore. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day.